A few weeks ago, I talked about creating rituals for grief. Today, let's talk about why rituals for mourning and funerals are important. Stay tuned. Hi everybody, welcome back to another video by Pan Society. I'm Sherry, and today I want to talk about rituals that work around funerals and mourning. This is a great animist topic because culturally we have some similarities across the board, across the world, and then others are very much people specific or family specific or region specific. But the general idea behind a lot of these rituals are the same. So let's talk about that. First of all, it's an honor to travel the wheel of life from birth to death, no matter how long or short your journey is. There's an honor in living well and dying well. And so it's not just necessarily for the person who's transitioning. There's a lot that goes to it for the people that are behind, that are left behind. If you have all these in place, the person who is transitioning will be welcomed by the ancestors and will be ready to go so that there's no fear and that things are easy. It's an easy transition. Now, in the Western world, we have, the traditional couple of days after someone dies, there's the funeral, and there's set things that happen. We all know these things happen. Same thing in most other cultures too. In the Korean culture, which is where I'm from, we have so many days that are, like the first 3 days are very, very important after the death. And this is that time that we sit with the body's bathed, there's certain people that prepare certain foods, and amongst that, there's some weird things that happen. But with that, it gives us all a role to play in the process of letting someone go. And that's important because sometimes when these things happen, they're on short notice, or we are in a state of grief that it's harder to function. So if we know that these rituals have to happen and we know what these rituals are, we have something to do, all of us. Everybody can just jump in as a tribe or a team or a family and participate, and it helps everything run smoothly. This also lets the ancestors know that your person who's transitioning is ready, that they're ready to join them. And so there's lots of things as we prepare that, in Korea, we put the shoes outside. There's 3 pairs of shoes that go outside during that time that signifies that our person is ready to join the ancestors. So knowing that they're going someplace or that they're joining our ancestors, the people that are still here on earth or in, the world, have a comfort with everything that's going on and with that person transitioning, because we know they're joining a bigger picture for us. Rituals also help us channel our grief, our anger, all of our emotions that we're going through. So there's, in certain traditions, like, it looks weird from the outside, but when you're there, it makes sense. Keening in the Celtic traditions, the wailing. Korea, we have something similar too, where you're just bawling, you're letting all this energy out, and the louder you are, the more you respect the person that's going, or the more you feel for them, the more love you have. Sometimes in some cultures there's, self-flagellation that's happening, hair pulling. Everybody is different, every culture is different, but there is some type of keening or wailing in most cultures, and that's to give you an expression to get all this emotion out and to let it out, and also so that the ancestors can hear and come collect that person. So when we think about death, and I know I can never talk about this enough, it's important to have these and know what these are and participate with these. I know in my family line, I had to ask because it's not something we participated a lot in, because our families are smaller now. We're not, there's not as many kids, there's not as many family events or funerals. So sometimes not having these is difficult. So always ask your members of your family what their roles are. And then also with me, I've noticed there's gender specific tasks, and they used to be that way, but now that, you know, families are smaller, some people don't have sons or daughters or aren't married, so some of those roles do change, and that's a time to be flexible or figure out what works for you and your family. So if I know it's not something that's on everybody's mind, but it is something to think about, so that, you know, you have those preparations when the time comes, or if the time comes. If there are family rituals or, you know, funeral or mourning rituals that you've participated in or you've observed, comment down below, let us know, or join us on the Facebook group and let's have a conversation. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time in the next pan video.